Hey, Big G. I know that was it you that was asking for me to go live. Let me turn this down. Um, I don't have a lot of time these days. I know you guys saw, some people watched that video, and I'm not giving up on this channel or anything. I just have a lot of things that I have to do. It wasn't like before where I had a lot of free time. I'm making the awesome drive from Venice to Northport. But in the meantime, people might have some questions. I'd like to be free for that. It was someone that had like big something or like their name in one letter. How is real estate in Florida? Real estate, it doesn't move very fast as far as like the changes. Hey, Jeremy, what's going on? I could have used your help with my computer programming class. I was gonna message you. No, I didn't message you because anyway, it was fun. I did all right. But real estate market is like, I think there's a lot of unknown going on. You have high interest rates. You have a demand that's, I think you have a lot of houses being built. And the problem is the houses are being built in they're all higher end, more luxury homes, like 500K and up, not in the 300K and under. And so people at that price point, when they see the difference, I know that looking at the metrics, I actually watch a YouTuber called Reventure Consulting, and he's pretty much been right about every single part of what's been going on around the country, and basically every what's it called? Every metro area in Florida is seeing like a huge gain in inventory. Now, does that mean the prices are going to go down? Theoretically, they would eventually. I mean, not only from the gain in inventory, but the rise in interest rates. You would need lower interest rates and lower prices for people to start coming back in them. People have been priced out, and I think that's the problem. Around Venice, like there's been some price drops, nothing drastic. There might be a little bit more availability of like rentals on the market. So, yeah, Jeremy, I wish I would have gone to that meeting in Lakeland. What was that, in December? It was rough because I had to make up my computer programming class, but basically based around Java, and I forgot a lot of it, and it was the worst grade I've gotten ever in college. So I got a class, but it's not not the end of the world. So I kind of have a few weeks off, so I can kind of not worry about that. It's kind of off my back. Yeah, I can. I just need to find another good Becario Phoenix Alfredii to do it with, and I think I want to like make it more detailed. There's a lot of information on Alfredii that you would think it's been a mainstream palm as far as like availability for over 10 years now, and I feel like there's not enough information on a palm that has so much potential. I mean, it's essentially it should essentially replace the queen palm. In my opinion, it has nearly the same cold hardiness. It looks so much nicer. It's what everybody wanted the queen palm to be when they wanted a coconut replacement. Hey Ryan, what's going on, man? Ryan, I was going to tell you, I actually looked into because Tesla dropped their prices on again. I went to go look at leasing a model. I told you that. Yeah. Base Model 3. The performance model was just like, it was extra 10 grand for any options. Becario Phoenix Alfredii, which is known as like the mountain coconut, or, well, it's not known. There's the forest coconut, which is Juanio gerardii. And that's a very rare palm. It's on CITES Appendix 1. It can't be imported into the U.S. anymore. someone was importing them, and they around '09 it stopped. I know I need to make a new palm video. I really do. I find myself free at night, but the problem is at nighttime it's harder to make good palm content. So I need to figure out how to fix that. I'm trying to, I've actually been doing a lot of tutoring for math, and you kind of have to be available a lot for that. Okay, so it's Vwani. If I do it any slower, you're not going to be able to necessarily understand it. It's Vwani Owala Girardii, which is Voani. Well, I've got to merge here, so I can't do both at the same time. I'm like a terrible multitasker. I'm approaching River Road in 41. Man, this is bad. One lane during rush hour on 41 heading east. Probably not the best idea. So it's if I have it right, it's VoaniOala, then Gerard with two I's on the end, which basically in Latin means of Gerard. It's some botanist named Gerard or someone that found the plant. I've never made a video on it. Maybe I did, but it was like a seedling or a small plant. It was not a big plant because there are none. Even in Hawaii, there might be some that are like 8 feet tall. That's the most. But it is such a cool plant, but it has a seed that honestly you could run over with a truck and it's not going to break. Because of the thickness of the seed versus the size of it, it has the ability to withstand incredible pressure. I've never seen a seed like it before. I'm trying to think of what it's like. It looks kind of like a cacao bean, like a cacao pod, but it's hard as a rock. It does get replacing the Beccario Phoenix is what you're talking about, I think. Yeah, Big G, Palm Springs. Did you guys get snow, by the way? So Beccario Phoenix, that Ryan is BECCARIO, and then Phoenix, PHOENIX, and then Alfred, and then two I's on the end. So a lot of people don't know like why it's called Alfredii, but there was a guy in Madagascar in the capital Antananarivo, and he was basically like the point man, the go-to for any seeds in Madagascar. Back before there was online sales, like he was the only connection. So, hey Will, my name on Palm Talk is CF Kingfish. My initials plus the word Kingfish. So, his name was Alfred Rafananazara, something like that. His last, Malagasy last names are very difficult sometimes. They're very long. And so, he found this palm and called it Beccario Phoenix species high plateau because it grows around like over 3,000 feet in elevation, sort of in the middle of the country, I think a little bit in the south, which is kind of where triangles grow. So it made sense that it would be as cold hardy as a triangle, maybe more so. And I first got seed of the plant as high plateau from a company called Ortonique, which is no longer around. This would have been 2006, 2007 maybe. And they look just like Beccario Phoenix fenestralis seed. But I was like, I'll try it out. 10 seeds were like $7. And the guy's name was Joseph. Grew them up. I had about 10 of them. People thought it was cool. I mean, I would sell them for like $5, $6 a seedling. They all germinated. And then there's a guy in Broward County. He's a veterinarian and one of the most humble and intelligent people I've met in the palm world, and most people don't know who he is. His name is Pete Belaski, and he was going over there on like humanitarian missions, and he collected a lot of plants and a lot of palms as a result. And it was just amazing. Like he just got so much of the seed, and so did Toby and Joseph did too of Ortonique, and people were trying it out. I planted one out as a 3 gallon that saw 29 with no damage in an inland area in Sarasota County. So I mean, there's a lot of, I could tell a lot of cool stories. I don't want to like, put a lot of names out there, especially if the story is not, fully positive. But I have plenty of great positive stories. I was going to make a video, and you guys tell me what you think of like the best and worst botanical gardens to go visit that are like publicly accessible. Where you either pay an admission fee, and in some cases you don't pay any admission fee. I was going to do that and kind of see where that went. And I think you guys would be surprised. Well, I mean, not too much, but where you think you should go isn't necessarily where you should go. Big G, you would think Fairchild's got to be the best. And it is a must-see, but I wouldn't rate it as like the one place I would go. And not everybody's gonna, I don't mind talking about that here because not everybody, that's obviously there's 4 people on the chat, but I would say that the best overall botanical garden that you should go to would be number 1 would be Kew Gardens. I mean Lou Gardens in Orlando. Lou and Kew, I get mixed up. Kew Gardens is in London. I would highly recommend that. I have not been there, but I don't need to be there to know that that's an amazing place. The second place I would recommend, the place I would recommend is Lou Gardens in Orlando. And I personally know the guy, the curator there. His name is Eric. Very cool guy, like super, he's just, like obviously I don't live near Orlando, but if I live close by, we'd probably be best friends just because he's just such, he's worked there for 30 years and he has tried everything there, like everything he can get his hands on, like he really cares. Hey, the VA lover, 99. It's a good year. I know that Arcadia, California got some snow, so I'm trying to like answer a little bit of everything while there's not a lot of traffic going on. I'm going to be in my destination in about 12-15 minutes. But it does get frosty, definitely inland, like west of the Turnpike, in pretty much all of southeast Florida. And it can get frosty even closer, like even to 95. It's very rare to get frosty like east of 95, but it's happened. Let's see here. Oh, you're born 99, okay. Yeah, they said like over 3,000 feet would get snow. It's weird to see, like I was looking at the temperature map in the southeast today, and I saw it was like 75 as far north as like the Raleigh-Durham area, and then you kind of get up, and if you cross over the Appalachians, and it's like freezing cold. There's good books for palm identification. So I don't know if there's like really one good book out there. Well, the best book to have for like botanical identification is called Genera Palmarum, and it was written by John Dransfield and I believe Natalie Uhl, UHL. But get the second volume, because the first one was written in 87. The second volume has color pictures. I think it was written in 09 or 2010. It has a lot of updates, a lot of newly discovered plants. As far as online reading, it is. I have that book. It's not cheap. It's about $120. Maybe it's a little bit less now. But it is. What's the point? Sorry, it's. But as far as like online resources, palmpedia.net is a very good one. just a guy that is on a mission to rear end someone. I'm sorry. Give me a second. If you move to South Florida, east of 95, you're gonna find that there's not a lot of cheap land there. But if you want to move to South Florida and find cheaper land, you're gonna be. I mean, you'll be fine even in West. I mean, it's hard to find a lot of land, period, in like frost-free climates. But Pine Island, places like that are gonna be the best place to go. Driving in Northport during like what's still technically rush hour. Yeah, I was gonna say it was like 70 there. I saw that it got up there, especially like in the center part of the state there. Tolerate cold. I don't know if the sables tolerate cold better or just to kind of adapt to like not growing as fast. I think their genetics. I feel like the ones in South Carolina have a little bit different genetics to them, and they probably adapt. They probably are more adapted to like getting hard freezes all the time. Obviously, the ones around here don't get hard freezes. Maybe like where I am now, you might get one freeze a year, not even a hard, because a hard freeze is like it's defined as like 3 hours or more below 29. Yeah, hello. Still chilly in Palm Springs. 60 degree. I saw it didn't get very warm. I mean, I know obviously you guys had that cold weather come through. I don't have any experience with Aleodendron, but if it's barbaric, it sounds very familiar. Southeast Florida is definitely going to be less frosty. I think that coastal Southwest Florida, from basically Bradenton or even parts of South St. Pete all the way to Naples, are going to have similar lows. It's when you get inland in Southwest Florida, it will definitely get colder than inland in Southeast Florida. Inland in Southeast Florida is definitely has like at least 5 degrees warmer. But let's say there's a really cold front comes through and say Miami is forecast to hit 35, which is very, very low. I would say Naples like 32. Fort Myers, Cape Coral would probably hit like 31. This is on like a what's it called? Not an advective freeze. Can't even think of the word. When things rise out like steam. Anyway, a non-windy night. You would have, Venice would probably be about. Cape Coral, Fort Myers would be like 31, and then maybe like around the right on the water, it might be like right around 32, and then but like Port Charlotte, Northport would probably hit like 27, and then Venice would probably be like 30, 31. Sarasota, Bradenton would be like 30, 29, 30. But if you go inland to like even Golden Gate, right around 75, and in Naples, it'll hit 25 degrees. And it will really do some damage, and that's on a very rare occasion. It'll do some damage, things will come back, but Naples will warm up more during the day than Venice will, because like today it was 90 in parts of inland Florida, but it only hit about 81 here. You kind of get that San Diego gets, but then you go inland and it's suddenly like 90, but it's 68 in San Diego. Or extreme out there west. Wow, the traffic just got like significantly worse. So if I'm not reading everything, I apologize. Jupiter is not frosty. Jupiter is one of the few towns in continental U.S. that actually has what is considered a tropical rainforest climate. Theoretically, what's going on? But if you go from Jupiter to about Boca Raton, it is considered a tropical rainforest climate because theoretically it meets all the requirements of being above 64 median every month of the year, and rainfall is more consistent than it is even in Miami and Fort Lauderdale are like tropical monsoon, and then like in this area it's more like tropical savanna. So forgot this is only one lane. Oh man, I don't know how people in this town live like this. I thought Venice was bad. This is terrible. All right, at least I'm sitting at a very long left turn. Yeah, anything really like north of Gainesville, Ocala area is gonna have. You're gonna be able to grow the same stuff in like like South Georgia, South Alabama than you are in North Florida, and culturally it's the same too, because it is a little bit older. People are just getting out of. I wish I could show. I need to get a. The problem is my dash is it's slanted enough so it's very hard to mount a phone because I have. Here, I'll show you guys what I'm talking about. Oh, no. Okay, let's flip this around. No. But this area is where I would mount something, and this sticks out. So, anyway. Let's go back to this. So, I saw a post about Copernicia. Yeah, so Probus, like the key to fast Valence is just like insane, like high heat and letting a lot of water go through the roots. Don't let it stand at a seedling. When they're older, they can take some more standing water, but and this place is like the Wild West. Like as far as like driving, it's just. I really need to turn the phone the other way. I think they would provide a much more exciting experience for you guys. Hello, Mando. Good day to you. So VA Lover 41, I'm actually on right now, and that goes from Tampa to Miami, but then north of Tampa, it does still exist. What is happening here? This light lasts like 3 or 4 cars, then it turns yellow. Really don't want to wait for it again. So let me see if it actually lasted this time. Shocking. They really need to put like 2 lanes here, and there's so much development that they can't even keep up with it, which is another problem obviously in Florida. But 41 does north of Tampa. It does get hilly. Because you start going through like eastern Pasco and Hernando County, and I think Brooksville goes through 41. Maybe it doesn't. I'm trying to remember which direction 41 goes after it kind of goes through north of Tampa. Yeah, Baileys are going to be, they're a little bit harder to come by. The problem with inland California, as long as you're warm enough, like your Palm Springs is probably borderline warm enough for like Macroglossa and maybe Bailey, because it is kind of like 9A bordering 9B depending on where you are. But if you're in an ideal climate in inland California, Baileys can really grow fast with that high. They love that heat. You just got to give them some water. I know water's not cheap in California. But growing Copernicus from almost all Copernicus from the seed requires a little bit of patience, a lot of water, and a lot of heat. But you can grow almost any. This is the thing: is you can grow almost anything in like well-draining media, palm-wise. But you can't grow almost anything in poorly draining media, like water-loving palms that sit in water, accuracy will like it. But if you try and grow, a lot of desert, palms that grow in the desert and that sit in that water, like date palms, aren't gonna like it, that sort of thing. So most of my destinations. So when I turn, but when I leave, I'm in Northport now. I'm just hanging out with a friend. But when I leave, I'll try and make another live video. But Big G, if I were you, I would try and find Medina. Now it's not fast growing, but it has really. It's unique. It grows and it's from Sudan. It has really blue leaves, and it has cool yellow petioles with black thorns on it, and it really kind of looks just like a prehistoric plant. It doesn't do that well here because it's humid, but in Palm Springs, it's like it's made for Palm Springs. Like that is the palm for Palm Springs. Yeah, Virginia Beach. I remember I used to go there. So I used to live in Richmond from when I was like 7 to when I was 16. Oh, that's a cop? Okay. Good to know. Or it's just some, I don't know. So yeah, I would go to Virginia Beach a lot. It was about two and a half hours. And I remember there being palmettos right on Atlantic Avenue. I think that they've definitely grown a lot more, or they've planted a lot more since then. It's kind of getting. I'm again a minute away from turning off, so let me see if there's any last questions. Hey, Brobus, I would say that it does have actually a decent wind tolerance, but because it doesn't grow on the water and take like the hits from hurricanes that coconuts do, it doesn't have extreme wind tolerance. Coconuts do have extreme wind tolerance. I would say that their wind tolerance is high, but it's not extreme. Like other palms in the extreme wind tolerance would be like Sadakentia and sable palmettos. Like those are pretty extreme. Palms that have like low wind tolerance are going to be like licualas, maybe some Caryota species, joeys. Medium wind tolerance is going to be stuff like I don't know. We'll finish this discussion. What is going on? That is not the car that. Okay. What has happened here? My friend's car is not here, and instead there's another car that has significant rear end damage to it. Anyway, let me get going. I'll see you guys later. It was nice chatting, everyone. I have not traveled to Cuba, but I will see you guys later.